This is Earl Kelly, owner and founder of EK3 Technologies, and welcome to this video on using Barracuda quarantine management. Barracuda Networks is a tool that we use here at EK3 Technologies to help protect your inbox from malicious attack. Every day your inbox is subject to the internet, and the internet is a wild west full of people who would like to get information into your inbox. And not just sales for things that they're going to sell on Amazon or things that they're selling at Dillard's. You also have people who are trying to get malware into your inbox. They're trying to get spam into your inbox. They're trying to get a phishing email into your inbox. They're trying to get a spear phishing email into your inbox. And the latest craze is social engineering with whaling. And all of those sound like should be a video for the Discovery Channel, but it's not. It's a problem that happens in your inbox. So here at EK3 Technologies, we use a product called Barracuda Networks, and it sits between your email box, which could be Office 365 or Exchange or Google or something of that nature, and the internet, the Wild West that it is. Barracuda sits between it, and it filters out all of the email that comes into your inbox. So in doing so, it tries to figure out what should go and what shouldn't go, and it always asks you what didn't go unless it knows that a particular email shouldn't have gone at all. So it asks you that in a way called quarantine. So if you're new to the Barracuda Network product, you have probably been receiving these quarantine messages every night at midnight in your email inbox, and you don't know what to do with them. So these messages are actually the system trying to understand what emails should be quarantined and what emails shouldn't be quarantined. For the first couple of weeks that you might be on this software, it's a learning process for both you and the software as to what you want in your inbox and what you don't want in your inbox. So let's get into the actual software and see how it works and how you can use it to enhance your inbox. Now, for those of you who have been with us for a while, you may actually have this document. It's called the Barracuda Network Management Documented Workflow. I'm going to refer to this several times during our discussion today. So if you don't have a copy of this document, please email us at support@ek3tech.com. We'll be more than happy to provide you with a copy of this document. So let's get into the actual software itself. So I'm going to show you my screen. I'm going to show you the Barracuda Email Security Service quarantine notification email that I received last night at around midnight. So you'll see here, I got it at 12:48. You'll see that there's one inbound quarantine email, and it went to accounting. Now, Barracuda has different levels of emails, and we'll talk about those in just a few moments. But it has quarantined, and then it has blocked. So the difference between blocked email and quarantined email is quarantined email is an email that Barracuda made a decision on, but it wants to know if it should actually let those through. So it's saying, hey, FYI, I blocked these emails, but you may not want them to be blocked. So if you want to release them from quarantine, you can release them. Blocked emails are just that. They're blocked. And while Barracuda still has a copy of the message, they were blocked from coming through to your email box. And the recipient probably got a notice that the email was blocked as well. That usually happens when there are specific issues that occurred with that email, and Barracuda knows that it's either a phishing email, a spam email, or some sort of fraud on the network. So we do see that sometimes Barracuda does catch some false positives on the block, especially when people are using Gmail or some other type of email service, and they're sending as a company, but they're actually using Gmail. So for instance, they're using Gmail, but Gmail is sending their email as mary@maryscookiecompany.com. Because the email came from Gmail and not from Mary's Cookie Company, it would block, because that is that's called a spoof, and that would cause some issues. So in order to combat that, it would block it. Now there is a way to go in and release that, and we'll talk about how you do that. So let's talk about this email that I received. So the first thing you notice on this email is that it shows you all of the email that it received for the last 24 hours. Now again, this is from 12:48, so it was everything it received prior to 12:48 for that particular day. So you'll see that this particular email was from Cafe Press. It was at a particular time, and this is the subject that it has. Now, without even going into the software, I can click Deliver, and I can click Whitelist. Now, if you look on page 6 of the documentation that you've received, there is a difference between Deliver and Whitelist. So Whitelist allows the from address to go into a list, and that list is always accepted by Barracuda. So no matter what happens, anytime I receive an email from that person, that email will go through and it'll come into my inbox. If I just click deliver, it doesn't do anything except just deliver the email to my inbox. So in this case, if I was to hit whitelist, Cafe Press at emails.cafepress.com would be whitelisted, and I would always get emails from them. But if I hit deliver, then the email would just be delivered to my inbox. All right, so now let's actually go into the Barracuda Quarantine Management software and see how it works. Once again, the easiest way to get there is by using the email that you received the night before and clicking Manage Quarantine. So if this is the first time I'm clicking Manage Quarantine, or if I have not set a password for the quarantine management, the first screen I'm going to come to is Change the Password. This allows me to put in a password for Barracuda Quarantine Management. And if I put in a password, then I can actually go to login.barracudanetworks.com and I can access the software. However, it is not necessary, and you do not have to create a password as long as you have a link for the software, which comes every night at midnight. So most of the time when you come into the software, you're going to go to the tab that's on the furthest left side called Message Log. Okay? So going into the Message Log, the first thing you're going to see is down here is going to be a list of messages that you've received. Okay? That are quarantined. Now, we're going to go over each section of the screen so that it's a little easier for everyone to understand. And again, if you're following along, we're going to start on page 6, believe it or not, of your documentation. So I'm sorry, actually we're going to start on page 5. So the first thing you're going to notice is the message filter. So the message filter allows you to filter out all of the messages that you've received. By default, when you click on Manage Quarantine, it actually defaults into all of the messages that have been quarantined. Again, we talked about messages that were quarantined versus blocked, so those messages are listed here. By hitting the drop-down caret just next to the word quarantine, you can see that we can see all of the emails that that were allowed in. We can see just the emails that were allowed. We can see any that were delivered via UI. That is any messages that were delivered by the Barracuda system that something was happened upon, meaning someone physically pushed a button in this particular software and delivered that email message. And then we can see messages that were not allowed. Either they were blocked, they were deferred, or they were quarantined. Now, Barracuda does do some what's called a deferral, and it will actually delay a message or defer a message coming into your email box to verify that it is legitimate. You won't see a lot of emails in deferred. They'll come out of deferred and they'll either go to quarantined or blocked. Now, it is important to understand that even though the message that you received was sent last night at 12:48 p.m. or 12:48 a.m. or whatever time it was received, that the messages that you're looking at currently in this particular software are real time. So if you're looking for an email message from a person and it hasn't come through and you're concerned about it, and you're concerned that it's being blocked, you can come into this particular software at any time and see real time all of the email messages that you've received. Okay, again, besides simply clicking all. So you see here that this particular mailbox received 4 different messages. It received 2 from Barracuda Networks, and it received 2 from Cafe Press. A quick scan will show you anything that's yellow was quarantined, anything that was green was delivered, anything that was red was blocked. If you wanted to know why something is either red, green, or yellow, you can look over here in the reason column, and it will tell you why. This particular one was blocked because it received a spam score of 2.35. Spam emails receive a score based on different elements in the email, the sender's information, different elements in the email subject, different elements in the email body, different attachments, and receive a score. Anything over a particular score is blocked, and or quarantined, excuse me. And so in this particular instance, it was a high spam score, and so it got quarantined. I can also do some additional searching. So in this case, we have just 4 emails in this particular box. But by looking at the search field, I can actually get very granular on the emails that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for emails at a particular time, emails at a particular date, emails from a particular sender. I can do so by using the search filters. So the first thing I will tell you, and probably one that I use the most, is this one. By default, you can see that there's the last 2 days of emails that are being shown. But by clicking the down caret next to that, I can go and see all the emails for a week, 2 weeks, or 1 month. All email is stored here for up to 30 days. So if you lost an email or you need to find an email, etc., you can do so by simply clicking, by simply searching here. I can also type anything I'm looking for in the search field. So if I just want to type, want to find everything by Cafe Press, I can actually just type Cafe, and well, that didn't work. I can type Cafe Press, and it will show me all of the emails for Cafe Press. You don't really have to put in any sort of Boolean search. You don't have to put in any sort of like an asterisk or a wildcard. It will actually just look for the information that you're looking for. But even if you want to get even more granular than that, you can go into advanced search. You can look for from a particular email address. You can hit to. You can look for a particular subject, a particular reason an email was blocked, a start date and an end date, or even an attachment. Okay, you can look for all of those different things. So in this particular instance, I'm just looking for something with Cafe Press. Again, if I wanted to search for anything that's here, I can actually just type it over here, and it would show it to me except for dates. Okay. So if I wanted to just show everything that just said 40%, I could type in 40%. It would just show me all of the emails that say 40%. And so on and so forth. I can clear the search bar, and I can actually search for all of the emails. Now you'll notice that the first thing it shows you is it just shows you the first 50 messages that are listed here. Okay, so if I wanted to see the next 50, right, I would look over here on the right-hand side. You'll see that it says next 50. Okay, so I can view up to 50 emails at the time. If I wanted to see information on the actual email itself, I could click on the email, and depending on this particular feature right here that you have set, the reading pane, you're either going to see this on the bottom, or if you have clicked on the right, you'll see it on the right. Some people prefer it on the right. I prefer it at the bottom of the email. But so we're going to click on bottom, and I can look at this email. I can actually look at all of the information that's in the email. You'll see this has remote content that I can't see, but if I click load remote content, it'll show me the entire email. Okay. I can read the email. I can decide if that's an email that I want, or that's an email that I want to keep. Okay. I also have the email, all of the details for the particular email. So I can click on show details. Again, this shows me who the email came to. and that it was quarantined and the reason. It got a 2.35 score and it was not delivered. It shows me all the information of who that came from. So by looking at the email, I now have the option to make a decision. I can leave this email alone if I don't want to ever receive this email. I can whitelist this email so this email comes through all the time. I can actually block this email so that the email is always blocked and never comes through again. I can download the email if I want. I can show the message history. So if I wanted to see if this message had ever come before, I could. Or I could open the message and open it in a different window. Okay? Or I could just deliver the message. And I can do all of that from either this toolbar here, okay? Or I can go back to the reading pane and I can actually select this particular message and I can whitelist it or I can deliver it. If I do export, it will actually save it as an EML file. Nobody ever uses that, but it is available if you want it. Okay? You can also recategorize this email. So email is usually categorized by multiple different things. So it's either a corporate email, a transactional email, a marketing email, social media, mailing lists, or other. So let's say that the email was blocked because it is bulk email. A perfect example is this email that I got from Aflac Business Services. Okay, this is not a bulk email. This is actually a corporate email. So I can actually choose recategorize. Okay, and now when this message comes in, it is no longer listed as bulk email. It is listed as you'll notice here, it is listed as corporate email, okay, and it delivered it. Notice that, okay. So if there was an email that I wanted to receive, okay, and I wanted that email to go through, I can actually click next to any email, and I can just click deliver, and it will deliver that email message to my email box, okay. This message I received from Jillian was just a test email, but let's say I accidentally deleted it and I wanted to resend it. I can actually just hit deliver. It would go to my email box. This is very helpful as well if your email server goes down. If you have some sort of on-site email server and your email server goes down, they will actually store themselves in Barracuda until your email server comes up. The other thing I could do, if I always wanted to see emails that came from Jillian, always, and that email was blocked, I could actually click whitelist, and it would always whitelist emails that come from Jillian. Okay? So that's the message log. That's where you're going to be most of the time. You're going to either whitelist or deliver or read emails that are in your quarantine or find emails that have already been sent. Now, under the Settings tab, we were already there once under Change Password. But on the Settings tab, we can actually come in here and we can change our quarantine notification. So we received notification, for those of y'all who were paying attention, we receive quarantine notification once a day at midnight. That should be, or between midnight and 1 a.m. That should be the default. Again, if you're following along in your document, we're now on page 8. If you want to receive that more frequently, you can actually just highlight a time of the day. So here between 8 and 9, we can highlight that, click Save Changes. We'll now get that between 8 and 9 a.m. every morning. If you want to get it, I don't recommend this, but if you wanted to get it every hour, you could, of course, highlight every hour of every week, and you would receive that as well. I don't recommend that, but you could do that. And the next option is going to be Sender Policy. Okay, Sender Policy is going to be where all of the emails that you have whitelisted are listed. So it also gives you the opportunity to manually enter any emails that have been blocked or need to be whitelisted. It also gives you the opportunity to quarantine an email. So maybe you received an email that came through and you want to quarantine it or you want to block it. You can type the email address in here, okay, And once you do that, you can click either exempt, quarantine, or block. Exempt means it's going to come through. Block obviously means it's going to block, and quarantine means it's going to be quarantined. So we're going to say any sender, let's say any at senderemail.com. Let's say we're just going to exempt it. We can put a comment in here as to why we did it. So this is Susie's email. Keeps getting blocked. Once we've entered that in, we can click add. Okay, and then the next time that we refresh sender policy, we'll see that her email keeps getting blocked. If that causes too many problems, or now we don't like Susie, or Susie has changed jobs and we don't want that in there, we can actually remove that by clicking remove and confirming that we want to remove Susie's email. You can also, using bulk edit, you can enter in multiple different people by copy and pasting this into like an Excel sheet and then importing the Excel spreadsheet into here. Again, that's going to be a more advanced function, so I would contact our support team for that. Linked accounts, we're not going to use. Changed account, change password. Again, we talked about the password itself. And the other option is to log out. Once you log out, you're logged out of the system. And the only way to get back in is to click this Manage Quarantine button again. So that was a quick and brief overview of the Barracuda Quarantine Management software. If you have any questions, please feel free to text or call us at 904-875-5051. You can also email us at support@ek3tech.com.